Board.
I call the member for Werriwa.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I move the motion relating to women's sport in the terms that appears on the notice paper. I'm a sports tragic. Over the years I've been involved in and played cricket, hockey, refereed rugby league, as well as volunteered for many sporting teams. I choose to watch sports a lot. But it's only recently that women's sport has started to receive the recognition it deserves. Over the last 10 years, the sporting landscape, not just in Australia but the world, has completely changed. Women's sport has not only emerged, but I would argue in some ways now dominates. Women's skill, knowledge and execution is at par with the men's. Perhaps we can trace this emergence to Cathy Freeman at the Sydney Olympics in 2000, who, along with Susie O'Neill in the pool and so many others, caught our imagination. Cathy Freeman's win was magnificent. She ran with the hopes of the nation on her back and won. Regardless of how we got here, the point is, Deputy Speaker, women's sport has arrived. The year is 2020, the venue the MCG, and I was lucky enough to get tickets to pay my first visit to arguably Australia's most famous sporting arena, the MCG, and I was joined by 86,000 other fans. The occasion was the final of the ICC Women's T20 World Cup. The Bills, Dougs, Gregs of my childhood have been replaced by Alyssa, Beg, Beth and Meg. And over the ensuing few hours, Australia won, defeating India by an amazing 85 runs. The record books speak for themselves. The Australian women's cricket team have been the ICC Women's T20 World Cup champions in 2010, 12, 14, 18, 20 and 23. And in 1978, 82, 88, 97, 2005, 13 and 22, they were the Women's Cricket World Cup champions. But it isn't just cricket that women excel in. In netball, the Diamonds had dominated for decades. Last month, they brought home the Netball World Cup crown for the 12th time. And to top it off, they won in a record 61-45, the largest World Cup victory in 28 years. And then, of course, we have the Matildas. It wasn't a race that stopped a nation this time, Deputy Speaker. It was a tournament and a game. And we won't forget Sam Kerr's goal. If you needed no other sign that the time for women's sport has arrived, then you need to look no further than the support our nation provided to the Matildas during this year's FIFA Women's World Cup. But for all Australians, Mr Speaker, there's still a way to go. Women's sport needs greater availability on free-to-air TV, and women's sport needs to have a greater pay parity with men in regards to pay. But I do commend the work that the Australian cricket has made in this regard, particularly the men cricketers, in supporting the women to get pay parity. I can't help but think the generations of women who began this women's sporting movement would be proud and chuffed. Their efforts after so many years are coming to fruition. I can't wait for my next MCG or SCG experience. Soccer, league, cricket, netball or whatever, I know that Australia's female sporting champions will do their code and country proud, and the Albanese Labor government will support them every step of the way. The recent successful of women's sport must be accompanied with investment to ensure that the momentum and enthusiasm continues. Those it inspired must be supported. Recently, the government announced a $200 million Play Our Way program that will be used to improve sporting facilities and provide more equipment for women and girls. This funding will go towards local grassroots sporting clubs who are the backbone of not just women's sport, but sport for all genders and all ages. But it's more than that. Investing in our local sporting clubs brings our communities together and promotes healthy lifestyles, builds relationships and teaches valuable skills that can be applied throughout life. I'd also like to commend Catherine Canuli, a former Matilda herself, who's working with Southern District Soccer at Cirillo Oval at Middleton Grange in my electorate, providing support for women's and girls' soccer. She successfully ran a tournament for young primary school children last week. Unfortunately, because I was here, I wasn't able to be there. But looking at all the photos on Facebook and talking to Catherine, I know it was a wonderful day. Congratulations to all those women in Werriwa who support our sporting champions all through their lives.